Hey everybody, welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games. I am Harry, and again, don't forget to hit the like button down below and subscribe to our channel if you're interested in some more board game related content. But today, we will be having another episode of Monday Metagaming, where I talk about some of the latest industry news, at least the news items that catch my attention or speak to me. I also talk about channel updates, announce things that are coming up in the current week as far as our channel is concerned, and finally I wrap up this video or this show just talking about recent gameplays that I've had in my own personal experience and just highlighting some of the more memorable games or maybe some of the newer games that I've been playing as of late. So without any further ado, let's start first of all with the news. And there's two particular news items, but it's really kind of one from the same company that I want to share today. And the first is the reprint of PAX Renaissance. And this is a game that is relatively highly ranked on BoardGameGeek.com. I think it's somewhere in the 500s. However, I've never really paid much attention to it because of the fact that it's out of print. And it just looked like one of those games that would remain out of print. You know, there's those games on BGG that you look at them and you just, for whatever reason, they just look like they never will come back into print. So I never really paid too much attention to this one. I don't know, maybe there's some big fans of PAX Renaissance watching and say, why would you think it's never coming back to print? I don't know. I'm ignorant. But the point is, because of this announcement of the reprint, it's forced me to look further into it. And I'm like, this sounds like a very interesting concept. So basically, each player is like a Renaissance banker, and you're spending the game like financing kings and nobles and doing all sorts of things. And it includes so many interesting thematic tropes that appeal to me. You know, there's like a financial element to this game, and political and religious and medieval flavor just all over this game. And basically it takes place in a medieval, entering into the Renaissance, European region of the world. Sounds really, really cool. I think the board is a map. I kind of have a soft spot for games that have, a map as the game board. I don't know. So that sounds really, really cool. It's due to be reprinted in Q4. I don't know, because of all the stuff that's going on, if we can really rely on these predictions, but it sounds like it should be here this year, if not early next year. And also from the same company and the same, I guess, line of games, they announced PAX Vikings, which sounds interesting. This is a Nordic themed game, zeroing in on that part of the world. And it sounds like it's a different type of game. It sounds like it's a card-based game. And also it plays from 1 through 6 players. So that sounds like a very wide range of players. But it appeals to me because, I think, like many people, Norse and, history and mythology and all that stuff is cool and interesting and sometimes, overlooked by others who prefer Roman and Greek or Roman Greco history and or mythology. But it also catches my attention because it has a 1-player version, right? It's 1 through 6 players. So right now, again, at the time we're living on, it just really makes you realize how valuable a solo game can be. And I'm glad that I've gotten to that point. I've evolved at that, stage and level in my gaming experience where I'm okay playing solo games. So there's that. There's PAX Vikings. Now we are done with industry news and we'll move on to channel announcements and updates. The first thing I would like to proudly share with you all is that this past week I've got 11 new subscribers to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you who have seen any value in this channel to say, hey, you know what? It's worth clicking the subscribe button. I appreciate that. This brings our channel to a total of 72 subscribers, which again is much sooner than I ever thought I would reach this number. I mean, we're talking about 2.5 months into this channel, 72 subscribers. I could have never dreamt of having this many. And I know it might sound like few to some people, but to me, 72 in 2.5 months is phenomenal. and especially the last 3 weeks. So I had 11 this week, I had 10 subscribers the previous week, and I had 9 subscribers the week before that. So I've had 30 of my 72 subscribers, almost half of them, come in the last 3 weeks. That's just amazing. Also, our channel is now over 4,000 views. Again, thank you. I know lots of the people are just people who catch my video by accident and just want to run the other way. But you know what? Thank you for accidentally clicking on my video, all right? And if you held back your vomit, and your nausea while you watched me, I thank you even more. But in all seriousness, 4,000 views, we're talking about 2,000 views a month. Again, I find that to be very, very surprising. There's so many channels out there, probably better than mine, that don't get 2,000 views in a month. So I am very, very happy and very excited about that. Also, just some announcements coming up in the channel for this week. First of all, for those of you who signed up for our Wingspan giveaway, I will be announcing the winner later on today on Instagram. If you have not signed up for that giveaway, please check my channel for that video. It's a few days ago, or well, Monday, it was a week ago. So check the video where I announce the Wingspan giveaway and I explain the details for signing up. It's absolutely free, but check that video and you'll see exactly how you can sign up. I will be announcing the winner. It closes at 12 p.m. noon. So if you're watching this video and it's after, if it's after Monday, April 13th, 12 p.m., then don't go checking the Wingspan video. You won't be eligible for the competition or for the contest. But if it's before that, check it out and it will be worth it. Then also this week, tomorrow I'll be having my top 10 Bruno Cathala games. Bruno Cathala, for those who've been watching this channel and for those who have watched my top 10 list of favorite board game designers, is one of my favorite designers. And I will be zeroing in on his gaming resume, his game design resume, and sharing with you my 10 favorites. Also, for Thursday's Tabletop Tangent episode this Thursday, I will be talking about board games as a coping mechanism. Yes, how board games help you cope with stress and with problems and with the difficulties of life. Life can get very hard, and it's good to have some healthy and accessible coping tools, right? And I think that board games is absolutely one, and I'll explain why on Thursday. And finally, a bonus treat for this week, something that rarely happens, is that I'll be having a bonus top 10 video, and in particular, I'll be uploading it today, later on today, and it'll be my top 10, this will be a shorter top 10, my top 10 board games to play remotely, right? Because of the situation that we're going through, there's so many alternatives that we have to turn to. Video games and other stuff, board games on Tabletop Simulator or similar platforms, or board games that you could play solo. Well, these are games that you could play with other people remotely through some sort of video conferencing app, maybe like WhatsApp or Google Hangout Meets, some other app that allows you to, interact with other people, via video conferencing, and play these games, preferably with both parties involved having their own physical copy of the game, and that way still enjoying the tactile experience of the game. So I will be talking about that later on today. And now we will wrap up this video with my gameplays of the week. And this was an amazing week, in particular in comparison with last week. And it's amazing because I've been just as much locked down this week as I've been on previous weeks, and yet I was able to rack up 18 plays this week. And I will begin to share them. First of all, let's talk about the games I played with my wife, Lily. My wife, Lily, and I, we played 8 games this week. First of all, we played 2 games of Mercator, which has been a game we've been playing much lately. You can see it back here behind me. It's an Uwe Rosenberg design. Players are merchants, as the word Mercator means. And you're going through these different countries or locations in Europe, and you're collecting goods, you're picking up goods. There's a little bit of pickup and delivery, right? You're picking up goods and you're delivering them to other places. But there's contract fulfillment because you're trying to specifically go to places that are asking of certain goods for you. So you're going to the right places to gather the right goods, and then you're going to the right places to deliver the right goods. But also, you're managing a resource of time. Time is a physical, tangible resource in this game, and some places earn you time, and some places cost you time. And where you go affects the rest of the economy. So if you go to one country, it might stimulate some of the neighboring countries. If you go to another country, it might stimulate all of the countries that are already of a certain, economical status or what have you. Really, really cool, neat game. Can't explain it too much in this brief moment here. A little bit abstracted, but a fun game we've had a good time playing with lately. We also played Agricola, family favorite. Agricola is one of those games where I say we are a such and such fill in the blank family, right? Because we play so much of Agricola. Honestly speaking, you're probably going to hear this in many Monday Metagaming episodes of how we play Agricola or some iteration of it. Fun game. We have a blast playing it all the time. We also played Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small. Yet another reason why we call ourselves an Agricola family, because between Agricola and Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small, we end up racking up lots of plays. We played Kingdom Builder, which I've been talking about a lot in this channel lately. Fine, simple, elegant game, gateway feel. One of those games that takes a minute to learn, but a lifetime to master. It's really super duper simple, and I think a lot of people don't like it because of how simple it is. But I honestly, not to be arrogant, I honestly think I would beat a lot of those people that feel that way quite often, because they probably haven't played the game long enough or as many times to truly appreciate how rich it can be and how different it could feel every game, and how much you need to adapt from game to game, your strategy to the current set of circumstances. Really, really cool game we've been playing a lot lately. We also played Power Grid, and Power Grid is a family favorite. It hasn't been a family favorite as some of these other games that we, fill the blank in with, but we might one day be called a Power Grid family because we really like this game. Something very, very important to note is that my wife Lily beat me at this game for the first time, so I do have to give her props on air. It was one of those games that the first, maybe 4 or 5 times we played, she couldn't beat me, but this last time she beat me, I've been humbled. I've got to go back to the drawing table and find out what I could do next time to step up my game. But again, very proud of her for winning at that game of Power Grid. Power Grid, what I like about Power Grid is how it gels and combines all these different mechanisms that I personally like in such a smooth and elegant fashion. It has auction bidding, which I love. It has route network building, which I love. It has resource management, which I love. It has, different types of buildings that you're managing, which I love. I love games that have different buildings, either represented by tiles or by cards. I really don't care too much which, medium they use to represent the buildings. What I like is that each of the buildings does something different than one another. And it's the same thing with Power Grid. You have these different power plants, and they all supply power, but they all require different resources, and they all require a different ratio of resources to city, and they all power up a different amount of cities. So again, you're factoring all those things in. And of course, it has a supply and demand market, right? You have a market that the value of each of the items in that market are determined by its supply. If it has more supply, it costs little, it costs less. It has a larger supply, it has a lower supply, it costs more. If it has a larger supply, it costs less. Really, really neat mechanism. Any game that includes that concept, I like it. And again, all these different things have been interwoven in such a smooth, elegant fashion. You would think that it would feel clunky or burdensome. You would think the fact that there's so much math going on in the game would feel maybe too heady, too thinky for a person to really find it to be fun, but it works. It works for us. And that was Power Grid. We also played a few new games this week. We played Hive, simple, classic, abstract strategy game. It's been around for about 20 years now. And it was cool. It was nice. I'm not a huge abstract fan. I appreciate the concept of abstract strategy games, which is why I'll never totally give up on them. And there's some that I still need to try, which I know I feel confident I will like more. But, I've tried some really good popular ones, and they've been okay to me, and that's what I feel like with Hive. It's a good filler. It's an okay game to play. I think it's a great travel game because you got the little pieces. I'm not sure what material there are, like tile, not tile. They're like what is it called? Baked light tiles. And they're cool, and you could take them. They're transportable. It has a little Ziploc bag, not a Ziploc bag, but a little sippy bag you could take with you on travel bag. And also, like, you could play it outdoors because it's impervious to the elements. The elements can't really ruin the components. It's just these tiles here. So it's really, really cool. You just need to find a surface space that's big enough to contain the game. And it doesn't take up too much space either. It's just 11 tiles per player. And we also played San Juan, which is the card version of Puerto Rico, and I feel really good about this game. And I knew I was going to feel really good about this game because I've always heard that San Juan and Race for the Galaxy are like cousins, and there was some interaction there between Tom Lehman and Andreas Seyfarth as far as interacting and sharing ideas back and forth as they were both developing those respective games. And I love Race for the Galaxy. It's one of my absolute favorite games. So here you got San Juan, which technically, in theory, for me, actually, I might actually lean to San Juan thematically over Race for the Galaxy. I know that's, blasphemy in some gaming circles that sci-fi isn't as interesting as, like, what's it called? Age of Discovery, Age of... what's it called? It's not Renaissance. It's you guys will comment down below what's it called. But that period, colonial times of, just discovering the new world and all that stuff. I find that to be cool. And, I like the idea of these different buildings that I can connect to, like real world buildings like City Hall and a trading post and a tower and a chapel, as opposed to like these developments in Race for the Galaxy, which are fictional to me. Sounds neat and cool, but whatever. I do think that Race for the Galaxy might have the edge because I do like the simultaneous play in Race for the Galaxy long term, but I'm still feeling this game out. And so far, I feel really, really good about San Juan in our play. And that was it. Those are the games that I played with my wife. Now let's talk about my other plays for this week. I played a game with my nephews, King of Tokyo. Speaking of remotely playing games, which I'll have my top 10 later on about top 10 games to play remotely. But here's one of them. I won't spoil where it falls on the list, and that's King of Tokyo. I played King of Tokyo with my nephews, and it was a lot of fun. Yes, there's some things that are missed by being physically present with people, but we were able to like experience each other's die rolls or dice rolls and just have a little bit of those exciting moments, a little bit of that friendly, competitive banter going on. And it was just a very functional game to play in that fashion. Also, I played lots of games with my son, Nick. I'm not going to count all of them towards the 18 for this week, but I am going to count 6 of them. And in particular, 6 plays of a new game that I just taught my son, which is called Rabbit Rally. And it's a really, really, really neat game. I'm thinking perhaps maybe this week I might post a video of my son and I, Nick, playing this game so you guys get an idea. For those who are interested in children, maybe you have a child of your own or a nephew or niece or what have you. Or maybe you just appreciate children's games, right? Sometimes children games can be really good. And this one was pretty fun. It has an element of prediction, of guessing. I guess it's almost like programming to some extent. You're predicting or guessing how long a bridge is by looking at it, not by actually tangibly feeling it, right? So you look at it, and then you're spacing out these different stones that your rabbits are jumping from, and you got to make sure that the bridge is long enough to link those 2 stones together. Really, really cool, neat idea. The components look nice, and my son had a really good time. And then finally, I had some solo plays this week. I went back to solo. I haven't been doing that much solo lately, which is crazy because this is a time to do solo, right? So I played a solo game of Marvel Legendary. As a matter of fact, I will be probably sharing a playthrough of Marvel Legendary later on this week. And Marvel Legendary is just one of my favorite games of all time. Deck builder, Marvel superhero theme. It feels like there's like a story to it. So it has, I feel like it's very thematic for a deck building game. And I know a lot of people don't feel that way. necessarily about Marvel Legendary, but I think it does. I mean, is it the most thematic game in the world? No, but for what it is, a card game, I feel like it gives you a feel of kind of like a superhero storyline. So that's Marvel Legendary. And finally, I played 2 games of Encore, which is a abstracted roll and write game designed by Inca and Marcus Brand. Neat little filler gateway roll and write. Very simple, very basic, very abstracted, but a fun way to kill a few minutes, right? And I did so bad at both of those plays. I played the second one really because of how bad I did the first one, and then I did worse on the first one. So I did worse on the second one than I did on the first one. And that's it. Those are my plays for this week. And that's all we have. Thank you guys so much for joining us here at When Harry Met Board Games. Thank you for watching this episode of Monday Metagaming. And again, thank you for all the support you guys provide for this channel. Please tell your friends about it. You know, share this with somebody. Comment down below. Tell me how you feel about, you know, the things that I discussed in this video. Tell me about how you feel about this channel. Give me ideas, things that you would suggest, things that you think might help channel grow. I am absolutely open to any idea. Heck, even if I disagree with it, I'm at least open to considering it and having some kind of dialogue. So that is it for today. Don't forget to hit the like button down below and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And again, this is Harry saying take care. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.